Hi everyone, welcome back to another drawing video. In this video, I'll be showing you how I ink some doodles I was working on. Nothing I was really using a reference for, to be honest. So yeah, I just made these tiny little drawings because I was working on a tattoo portfolio, and a lot of the stuff in it was something I either worked on for a really long time, or like I had some previous paintings that obviously take a very long time to work on. And I thought it would be good to show some designs that are quicker and is that even a word? That are quick and could be done in a shorter amount of time. Kind of like a flash, I guess, but I don't know if this is good enough to be considered a flash, but whatever. I'm just doodling, right? That's the point of this video, is to show that when you make some things that are stress-free, sometimes it can help your creativity in the long run. This video isn't intended to be a tutorial, but rather just me showing you how I draw when I'm just not really looking at a reference photo. I'm just trying to make a cool design from my visual library in my mind. And I really think that this is something that's good to do every so often, because it really forces you to depend on the photographic memory you have for certain things that you've studied proportions of. So for instance, after drawing portraits for so long, I'm talking years, I have a pretty decent memory of what a basic eyeball looks like. So if I'm not trying to get too super realistic, I can just draw it, because I've drawn this damn thing so many times. So that's what I'm talking about in this video. Having a visual library can be achieved in a variety of different ways, but mostly it's achieved by just drawing so many things so much that you just remember basically like where everything goes. So like I said earlier, I drew a lot of portraits for years, and so right now, am I drawing a realistic eye? No, but like I generally know what an iris looks like because I've done it so many times. And the same thing goes for anything else, really. Of course, some things are harder to draw from memory than others, like, for instance, the human body. There's a lot of different muscles we got going on, and I think that if you want to draw something super ultra realistic, you would probably just have an easier time looking at a photo reference, right? But, you know, there's people that have done full body drawing so much that they can get a pretty good drawing just from memory, because they've done it so much and they've studied so much. Once you've, you know, practiced drawing a lot of things and got a decent foundation for a visual library to develop, I feel like that's when this technique could help with drawing from memory, and that's thinking in 3D. And what I mean by that is being able to look or visualize an object and think of it in its very basic form or shape, and to be able to turn it in your mind. Now that sounds weird, but a lot of concept artists actually do this, because eventually, you know, what they are drawing, if they're drawing something for a video game, for instance, that's going to have to be developed into something three-dimensional for a video game. So, you know, it's a technique that can be really helpful. And, you know, if you think about it, that's what you do when you're doing like a still life, for instance. You're staring at an object. You draw the basic forms first, and then you put the details in. It's like you're doing that, but inside your head. So you basically gather the reference from all the drawings you've done. Okay, let me think of an example so it'd be easier. Let's say I've drawn so many tables. I've drawn a lot of tables. And it's to the point where, like, I can just think of a picture of a table in my head. What I would do is I would think of that table. I would visualize, like, you know, what's its basic form? A cube or something. And you would then be able to turn it around in your mind to be able to draw it from any direction. That's just one technique. It's not at all what I am doing in these doodles I'm drawing, but I thought I would mention it because I thought that was interesting, and it might help someone, so that's why I'm including it. Something that I think is so great about just drawing freely, just kind of from your head, is it can be very meditative. It's really grounding, but it also kind of feels like you're playing. And I think artists really need that. I think when you're pressuring yourself to push out all of these really high developed paintings or drawings that take hours and hours, sometimes you just want to draw just for the sake of drawing. It doesn't need to be a goddamn Michelangelo painting. It just it just is the act of drawing, and doing this can actually help you come up with ideas later. You know, I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, even college, I was still doing this. When I was trying to think better, if that makes sense, I would draw. It was like the act of drawing helped me stay present, and it helped me think better. It helped me really get more ideas going. So, I mean, it wouldn't help in math class or something. That's totally opposite side of the brain. But let's say I was like in history or English class, and they're asking you, like, you know, what do you think of this piece of Shakespeare, whatever you're reading? And I would be drawing while the teacher's asking that, and it helped me think and question more, because just the act of drawing for me, it allowed me to be present while still thinking in that headspace of like questioning and wondering and coming up with new ideas. think doodling is such a good thing to do, just because creativity, in order to come up with that perfect, singular, simplistic idea, you have to get messy. This concept actually reminds me of something I just heard on the podcast Creative Pep Talk by Andy J. Pizza. He was interviewing a guy that was talking about his creative process, and they were talking about how, you know, in order to create that thing that looks like it was just already that way, something so beautifully made that you look at it and you're like, that has always existed to be that perfect way it has always been. In order for it to get to that point, there was a lot of messy crap that had to happen first. You gotta get messy before you get simple. And then they quoted this quote, I think it was by Mark Twain, and it was like, sorry I wrote you such a long letter, I didn't have time to write a short one. Like, damned, like, yeah, exactly. Have you ever just tried to get across to someone like something really important, and you just keep rambling, kind of like what I'm doing in this video, and you're like, God, why can't I just say it in such a simplistic way that, like, this is what I mean? Like, creativity is the same way. You just gotta get messy, look it over, and do the same thing over and over. You know, there's a lot of drawings I've made that have later turned into paintings that are like my favorite paintings ever, because it started from a sketch I found in my old sketchbook from like 4 years ago. I look at it and I'm like, whoa, I see the brilliance in this. And then I change it. I basically plagiarize myself and I change it, and it's the thing it was always supposed to be now, because I painted it how I realized, like, how it could have been. I saw its full potential at that point. And when you don't let yourself doodle, when you, circling it back to my point, when you don't let yourself just draw freely, and you're only pumping out these like super refined things, and you're not letting yourself just freely explore with your creativity, it's actually going to make the rest of your work harder. You know, when you let yourself just air out all the ideas, weird ideas in your head, and you just draw with a low pressure, you're making it a lot easier on yourself. Trust me, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, it really does help. This spooky cat just reminded me that Inktober's coming up. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a prompt list of words, and every day you draw something based off of whatever the word is. There's a lot of different ones, not just Inktober. There's a lot of different lists people make, and you can make your own. And the whole thing is to just challenge you to make something outside of what you normally would. And I think by the time this comes up, I'm already doing it. Anyways, but it's just a good exercise because while those drawings, you might have made something that you're just like, about. While you're making that meh drawing, it could lead you to the next drawing that's super amazing, okay? And that's why it's so important to just let yourself make mistakes and get messy, because it could really benefit your next masterpiece, man. You never know, okay? Lately, I've been letting my fiance, Brad, come up with some ideas for my drawings, and it's so funny to see like what other people come up with and to bring it to life. I really suggest you do that. If you're like having an artist block, go to someone you really like or care about, someone whose ideas you love, and just ask them like, hey, what should I draw? They'll give you some crazy stuff, man. Being serious. Like, I think for one of the Inktober prompts, the word was slippery, and I was like pre-planning what I should draw. Just random ideas, so I didn't have to wonder too much. Anyways, Brad was like, you should draw a frog in a wizard hat. Like, what? Where did you even come up with that? That's amazing. I don't know. Just an idea. Anyways, I'm done with this drawing, and I'm gonna go scan it, cut out each of the images in the printed copy, and stick them in my portfolio. I'll probably do a portfolio look over soon anyways, but yeah. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like it, please give this a thumbs up. It helps out like you would not believe. And that is it. Bye!